And
Yes.
I love that you are like so many business owners out there and entrepreneurs of, I figured out that I was good at doing something,
Yeah.
or I figured out how to get good at it. I was a practitioner in it, and I took care of the customer. And lo and behold, I ended up building a business.
Yeah.
But I knew absolutely nothing about building a business. There's a lot more to, I send an invoice and they send me a check.
So much more. So much more. And I see it today, every day. I mean, the same thing that I experience, even with my own franchisee. They're growing their business from $500,000 to $1 million or to 1.5. And they're growing out of, as you're saying, sending an invoice and getting paid. Now I have a team. And if they're not understanding how to go from one point to another point, what they usually will experience is, I grew the business from $500,000 to 1.5 and I'm making less money. And it just doesn't worth it, because I'm working harder and nothing is working for me. So why would I grow the business? Right? And at this point, like, you need different skills, different point of views when you're looking at the business. Yeah.
So as you went through, and we know each other well, and I will say just one plug from someone who recently did have a flood. That was my first phone call, was just the other 911. And I couldn't believe that compared to everyone else that I had talked to, had been working through. I felt like I was talking to a therapist, not someone who was going to come in and clean up and do the demo and help rebuild it. So you've been able, what really impresses me is that through, you talked about each stage of the growth that I want to get to, you've been able to keep that core and that legacy that you started the company on. And that's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to do. Look, it's easier for me to talk about it now, but even in the beginning, I was, just because of the way I grew up, lack of money, a lot of failures, money was a huge motivator for me, right? I believe that if I make enough money, I'll make everybody in my family happy. Discovering that there's no relationship between money and happiness, there's something else. But even going through and understanding my own experience of, yes, we're going through a hard time, right? There is an emotional disaster situation that we're going through. And every time that I interact with the homeowners, and I really start paying more attention to what is it that they're going through, it was, at one point, it was so clear to me, it's like, the house is secondary. I have a human being that's standing in front of me and he's suffering right now. I cannot just ignore it and just pay attention to the house, because what we really do as a business is adding value, right? Solving problem. And when I'm meeting with the business owner or homeowner, whoever it is, the first thing that I'm looking at is, what's the person in front of me is experiencing right now and how can I help him?